Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Sammy Original Guy here, aka Mr. Kendall from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing to you a brand new community battle matchup. Today, we are playing on Page Avenue. Very cool map. Cities aplenty, black boats are flowing. It's gonna be a good time. Alright, so today, we have a Tier 3 matchup. We have Andy versus Kindle. Classic battle of the Tier 3, folks. Everybody picks Kindle, and some people pick Andy. Myself included. I love Andy. Andy's the way to go, folks. You know, hyper upgrade. It's a great time. It's a great time. Very nice, a beginner CO for sure. Alright, so Page Avenue. This is a pretty cool map. You know, there's a lot going on this map, and let's just kind of dissect a little bit here. So, as we can see, this is a 3 base, 1 airport map, so it's not base light. We got bases aplenty. We have HQs guarded by black boats, both on the strong front of either player's army, which is very nice. And we have lots and lots of cities. Lots and lots and lots of cities. Lots of things to be captured. We have a comm tower, which is actually protected by a pipe seam. So in order to actually cap that comm tower, we need to bust open that pipe seam somehow. Now, obvious ways how Kindle can do it is obviously put one of her artillery right on the city. Blast open that pipe seam. We can get it blasted open in probably like 2 days. Andy, on the other hand, take at least 3 days to bust that open. Although, if you go the route of using a tank and artillery, you can get it done a little bit faster, but then you're out of tank and an artillery on the front lines for too long. So whether or not that is a viable strategy for this map, you know, only time will tell. Only time will tell. But it's a very cool map, nonetheless. Lots of roads, lots of cities. I can see it being very favorable to Kindle, especially with the positions of these cities right by roads. And actually in quite a few key locations on the map here, especially near the center. There's a lot of choke point potential with those mountains. So definitely favoring Kindle on this one for sure. But Andy has been known to come from behind and do some pretty spectacular things here. So we're going to see what happens. Alright, so we have Takumi Sen and Aim Free today. These are two lower rated players, somewhere around the 800 and 900 range, I believe. But this one was sent in with the hopes of looking at their strategies and seeing what we can do to improve. So if you have any suggestions in the comments after watching this game for what they could do differently, you can go ahead and post those in the comments. I mean, obviously, keep it positive, folks, because we are looking to improve. We're not looking to bash on anybody out here, okay? All right, perfect. So we have Kindle, the glorious Kindle, the urban blight specialist, the bane of city owners everywhere, the tax man, you could even say, tax woman, you could even say, 2024. All right, so Kindle will get that increased firepower bonus on those cities to 140%, and her urban blight ability will do a 3 HP of damage to everything on a city, everything on a property, and high society, increasing that firepower by 3% per city owned. On a map like this, I can see that firepower bonus actually getting pretty high, but most of the time urban blight over high society, but high society definitely has its place in the world, and that place in the world is actually quite possibly against Andy, for the main reason why. And I'll tell you this, the one thing you don't want to do when you're fighting an Andy is let his units survive. High society might be a very good option for actually guaranteeing the kills on those units. Okay, but then we also have Andy, my boy Andy. Yeah, Mr. What the heck is an airport anyways, man. Alright, he gets no day-to-day abilities, but he does have a hyper repair, which will heal 2 global, and he has a hyper upgrade, which is possibly one of the best CO powers in the game, in my opinion. Love that power. 5 HP global, plus 1 movement, plus firepower. Beautiful stuff, folks, beautiful stuff. The boy wonder himself, the bane of eagles everywhere. Alrighty. So now that we've gone over the map, gone over the CEOs, let's go ahead and take a look at this match, see what happens, folks. I'll see you there. Alrighty, folks, let's get right into it here. We have our standard infantry builds. First day, always start with those standard infantry builds, folks. It is really the only thing that you got to do. Aside from that, you know, it looks like both players are going for some standard capture chains. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. It does look like Takumi is pushing a little bit forward here. Let's see if Aimfree decides to push forward as well on their north and south front. Okay, and it does look like we are doing a little bit of a different thing here. So I think this is probably not the best option right here for Aimfree, unfortunately. Usually, if at all possible, you kind of want to go for the farthest property first, just because that's going to be your more contested property, you know what I mean? So what Takumi's doing down here, now I think this is probably the right route, because they would be able to capture this property and then immediately go up here and either threaten a cap here or get this safe cap. So I think that's probably the way to go here. Now let's see what Takumi decides to do. Cap the base, cap the property, going up to cap the airport. Cool. Yeah, so I like this chain here. This seems to be a much more effective chain, in my opinion, at the moment. Okay, so Aimfree goes up here to cap this property. It does have an infantry ready to cap this the next turn, but like I said, I feel like it's probably a little bit better to just go here, because then Aimfree would be able to capture this property, move down here, and then do the exact same thing, capture one of those two properties, right? So a little bit of a change in tactics there, I believe, might be able to get them a little bit more properties in the long run here. But we'll see if it really plays a difference, right? And it might, because we already have an early tank here from Takumi playing as Kindle, right? So that is an automatic 2-day interrupt here. Now this guy will he'll be able to get the property, right? But the tank's going to be right in their face, unfortunately. And also, unless we get a tank down here on Aimfree, our anti-player's strong front, it's going to make it really easy for Takumi to actually grab these properties up here, which is going to be very difficult in the long run, I think, for our friend Andy. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, okay. Interesting. So we have a tank response from the weak side over here versus the tank from the strong side. Now, I can understand why you might want to do this, right? Because you want to fight this tank with this tank. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's really the route that we should go. I think a tank down here would be a lot better, because we would be able to hopefully interrupt these caps over here. So let's see what happens, though, you know? We'll see what happens. Still very early in the game. Interesting. Okay, so instead of going for a tank chain, got another tank down here. Now, I think this is probably actually the correct response. A tank chain up here would... Well, obviously, tank chains are good, right? It's not really too bad. But a tank right here is not that bad of an idea, because we can actually safely cover these properties here too, right? So, yeah, we'll still be able to get this. This tank's not really in a very good position at the moment. We'll see what happens with the tank, though. Okay. Not really feeling that movement too much here. Let's go back to this tank movement here real quick. So we got Aimfree right here, right? Tank could move pretty close. I guess it can't really move too much closer. Might be the closest spot that it can go without really being hit. I feel like what we should probably do, instead of moving it here, we can move it right here, right? If we move the tank right here, it would give us a little bit more coverage while still being able to defend this guy, right? Because if we move right here, it's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movement to get on to the city. So if these guys do come and eliminate this target, tank would still be able to swoop over, first strike a tank. So I think that might be a little bit better. But we would also have coverage down here in case that doesn't happen, right? So the tank would just have a few more options being down here. Rather than being over here. But that's like super minor, right? Super minor. Okay, so going for a back city. Not okay. Not really feeling the back city too much here too, right? So the problem here is, so this infantry right here is in position to cap this property, which is more contested than the back ones, right? This infantry would easily be able to go right here. Next turn, start cap, grab this, then be able to head into the center. Most likely once, like, you know, combat starts picking up here, this guy would be able to cap this city right here and then immediately move to this city right here. So by moving this guy back, we're kind of eliminating our chances of getting these two properties safely, or at least one of the properties safely. So the back cap right there, a little bit iffy. And this move right here is also kind of iffy, because this infantry, we're fighting Kindle, remember? Kindle. Nothing to joke about, folks. Kindle is bad for business. Now, what is also bad for business is putting an infantry right beside a city with another infantry right there. Oh boy. See, that's a risky play right there. Now, even if we have all these infantry here, it's still pretty risky losing an infantry right here. Now, whether or not they're going to take that shot or not is up for debate. I like the tank here, though. Definitely got to get a tank to respond to this tank down here. And it's a little bit better being over here considering that's a strong front, right? Let's see if we go up and take a shot, though. Now, there's a few things that this tank would be able to do. Let's check that tank movement also. So, yeah, we can put it here. That's not a bad move. Could also put it down here and just give us, once again, a little bit more coverage, right? This isn't a bad move, though. I don't necessarily hate that. It all just depends on what this infantry... Yeah, okay. Boom. Yeah, see? We take that shot, and that's a devastating shot right here, too. Very devastating. Taking it down to 2. So that would mean, I believe, the damage that a 2 HP does right here, it's very low. Very low. We're looking at maybe... maybe like 5 to 7%, something like that. I don't know. It's very low, so the counter damage that this infantry took right here is very minimum. So let's just say this infantry is probably at like 96%, maybe 95, something like that. Okay, so now we have Mr. Andy, Ainfree, right here, with a little bit of an option here. So there is actually a pretty cool play I think that can be done here, but it would involve sacrificing this infantry. Now, I know people say that you want to keep units alive when you're playing as Andy because they come back, like, you know, almost literally twice as strong when you pop that hyper upgrade. But for this case, I think taking a shot here might not be a bad idea. But what we can do is we can sacrifice this infantry, do a little bit of damage, and I think we'd be able to do a little double attack right here. Not with, wait, with these two, right? So you double attack with the backline infantry, and then the third infantry. That should most likely guarantee the kill. Because we don't have any comm towers, remember, so we're dealing with base damage. So base damage is only going to be like maybe 44%, something like that, like max roll. But if we do this attack and then we do this attack, that might take it down to 5. And the second one, you know, if we get lucky, it might kill it, but still kind of a gamble, one way or the other. So let's see what we decide to do here. So we move the infantry here instead of taking the shot, and then we take this shot, right? So that takes it down to 6, and that's a 5. So that's pretty risky. I think if we just sacrifice that infantry here, This might work. I don't know. Will it work? No, it doesn't work. Yeah, see, we just needed 1 extra damage. That's all we needed. So, regrettably, that did not work out. Now, if we actually did attack with this guy and sacrifice it, we would be able to start the cap right here. And then, like, let's say this guy goes in, he goes to interrupt it, right? So you'd be able to interrupt it. But this guy would come in and do a first strike against the tank, right? And then if we build any sort of response down here, you know, like an additional tank, then we start the tank battle. But we started with getting a strike first, and we wouldn't be able to get 2 struck because we have some infantry here. So unless they want to forego caps to start a big old battle here, fairly safe in my opinion. Alright, so Kindle. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt something fierce, because this oof. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, okay. Ow. That is painful. Painful. Yeah. Very painful. And now this tank is rushed forward and sitting right on this neutral property, right in the middle. That is a strong position. So that's what I mean when you want to push your units out as far as possible, right? Because if this tank was like right here, we would have been able to just inch our way a little bit more forward, right? Stay out of range, and then maybe we would have gotten on that city first. Alright, so we attempt to go for a cap. Joining 2 units together, too, at this point, to go for that cap, probably not a great idea. I think we just want to keep those guys separated at the moment, because a 2 HP guy would be able to be used as a blocker later on. So yeah, we got two tanks, copter, lots of infantry. But Takumi here, gonna get a lot of caps this turn, a lot of caps. So that should probably take him up to like what, like 19, 20? Oof. Yeah, so Takumi's got a pretty good capture chain going here at the moment. And see, this is why you don't want to join those guys together, because this cap isn't going to work anyways. So, yeah, just having this here is not really the best choice. What we could have did is, like, we'll just check something. Yeah, okay. So let's get back to that part right here. So we went up and took the shot. Yeah, the shot got taken. Right? Oh, another shot got taken here too. So the 2 HP infantry would have been able to sit right here, and a 5 HP infantry would have been able to sit right here, which would have actually forced this tank to attack from either the road or the shoal. So it might have been a little bit better if we were going to go in for an attack too, but the fact that these got tanks right here, not super great, unfortunately. So because of this pesky forest here too, it makes it so we can't actually get up to that road. So a strike on this tank with this guy right here, very smart play, because this tank would have been able to rush in here. So I think that was a good move. Also, this wall up here is pretty good. Now, when you consider walls, right, an effective, good wall is something that can't be broken from the corner here. Right, so you see this wall right here, there's no actual potential to get around to this corner, so there's no way to actually break through this wall. The only thing that would happen if you tried to attack this wall is your infantry would go up against these guys, right, these 4 infantry, for example, and they would go up, they would take some attacks, and you would be winning on the first front. But the fact that he's got 2 extra guys in the back here, and possibly even a tank, right? These guys would just lose the engagement. So that's not something you really want to be attacking into, for sure. Okay, day 9, Andy. Sort of in a bad position at the moment. I'm not really feeling the advancement of the units here, but it's not necessarily over because it is Andy. Andy is capable of all sorts of things. No. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't really like that very much. We're still really early in the capture game, right? And injuring a whole bunch of infantry just to do damage to one tank is gonna really, really hinder our chances of getting captures, I think, right? So I don't really like this too much. So what, okay, so if our goal is to like attack this tank, we could actually just attack it with the 6 HP to the 7 HP, and that would actually lead to a 4-4 trade, I believe. And then, I mean, if we wanted to, not saying we should, but if we wanted to, then we could actually follow it up with the infantry strike. So that would actually increase the potential of luck damage. And that might take it down to 1 at the end of it, right? But going up and doing the luck attacks here and then attacking, I mean, there's one difference in the tank, but now we have like 3 useless infantry that aren't really going to be able to do too much. So I don't really feel that too much. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough. Okay, we have no comm towers, remember. So Kindle, unless she's attacking from the city, she just has base damage here. But this is a pretty risky wall. So like I was saying before, walls, you got to watch the corners. Corners are the most important thing, right? This corner, or this guy right here, he would be able to get hit by 2 infantry. Now without a comm tower, I'm not sure if that's actually a full KO, but I think it's got potential to be a full KO if luck is on your side. So it's a little bit risky because we could actually go up and double strike that and then, yeah, do a bunch more damage, but we'll see. Alright, champion infantry right here, not going down to the Kindle infantry right there. Very nice, I love to see it. Okay, so it's not a full KO, so we weren't able to get that KO. But we did do a lot of damage to it. And we moved up quite a bit, and we took another engagement here. So this is actually pretty good attack. Pretty good attack, I think. Yeah, because the copter might be able to rush in here. But, I mean, whether or not it will, it's questionable. If it was me, it's hard to say what would happen. I don't really like that attack, though. Good development of pieces here, though. I mean, these guys are in really good spots right now. They're all sort of covering each other. Like, this tank's covering this tank. This tank is actually potentially covering this tank too if it's attacked from that tile, right? But there's not really anything that can attack it from that tile. But it's good coverage, you know? Good coverage right there. Because that's the only potential spot that this guy could be attacked from. Unless they broke through here, but that's kind of impossible at the moment. Well, maybe not impossible, but highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Might be possible. Actually, we would be able to bust through that, and if we use this guy, we might... Maybe. I think it is actually possible, because this guy could attack here. These 2 infantry, or this infantry, and let's say maybe this infantry could KO this guy. This guy could get out of the way. We might be able to attack this, but, I mean... We wouldn't want to attack that. It's Kindle on a city. That's not what you want to be doing. Also, this guy is sacrificing himself right there. That extra tank, I would probably just leave that guy alive. So we only do 1 damage, which is not really massively significant in the grand scheme of things. But leaving that guy alive, what would actually make that happen, or what would actually happen, is your opponent would have to waste like an attack to attack it, right? So it would have to use this 4 HP guy 1 more time to actually get the KO. So that means this piece can't get developed anywhere. So keeping this guy alive, probably a fairly good idea. Going up for this cap here, it's incredibly risky. We have a lot of units around this guy. So we have some tanks, right? I'd probably move this tank up here, because then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gotta go right there. Right there. I think that's the spot. Yeah, I think that's the spot right there. So we'll see. Going in for another cap. Don't do it, don't do it. Okay. So that's nice. We did manage to do some damage to some infantry down here. It's just, I don't think it's enough. I think our counter damage, or counter attack is gonna hit us pretty hard over here. The battlecopter here is not bad. Anti-air rate here is kind of a little bit troublesome, so if this guy's gonna come down here, and it's not gonna be a very good time. Yeah, it's not gonna be a very good time indeed. Kindle's just got a really, really good position here. Okay, these caps, these caps aren't bad. This cap is probably gonna work unless we get Urban Blight. These caps are not gonna work. So it's pretty risky going in for those guys. But I don't know, we'll see. We really need to build an anti-air. Yeah, okay, we got an anti-air. I don't really like bringing the tanks up here, though. It's kind of risky. Yeah, it's kind of risky. Alright, I'll tell you why. Okay, this tank right here, right? This copter can hit this tank like really easily and will go completely unpunished. So that just means we get an injured tank. And that means Takumi, Kindle, is a little bit closer to Urban Blight at that point. And this guy just can't get up here and attack, right? And then we would be able to just park this guy on a city again. Interrupt a cap. Interrupt another cap. Finish that cap. Like this. I don't know, I can see some bad stuff happening here. Okay. Let's see if Takumi sees any sort of a play here, though. Interesting. Nice play with the black boat, though. Definitely got to get that heal. Heal on this guy. I mean, it's your only choice, so you might as well go for it. Ooh, going in for a hit on the city with our tank, though. That's unusual. Unless we're going for Urban Blight. No, we're probably going for Urban Blight, right? Oh. Yeah, we're going for... Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so that's not that bad of a play, actually, because the Urban Blight is gonna hurt. Oh yeah, there it is. Urban Blight. Yeah, that one hurts right there. So that stops all those caps. And actually that engagement that we took here, it's actually gonna be in our favor now. Without a tank response. So, this is gonna be kind of rough. Now we do have the battlecopters here to attack. We'd have to attack up here though, with the battlecopters. So it really just depends on what happens down south now. Yeah, good position right there. So we don't really want to attack in. That's the copter coming in there, right? That's what I was saying. You don't want to put those guys in range of copters. It's a little rough. A little rough. No. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, I'm not feeling that one. All right. At this point, I mean, we're not going to get this cap. So what we really need to do is we need to fight. So at this point, we're already down by 4K, right? And we're not going to be able to get this cap. Like at this point, we have to gain unit advantage. That's like the only way that we're going to be able to get through this. We have a lot of injured units right here, right? So if we do actually get the hyper upgrade, these guys are going to be golden. Trust me. It's going to be great. But what we need to do is we need to win this fight. We have to whittle down these infantry, because if these infantry stay alive, they are just going to destroy these guys. There's going to be no chance. So this cap is okay, but this cap, no, we can't go for that, right? Because what we can do is we would be able to two-shot this guy. He would go down. He would go down super quick. And then we pull these guys back, because these guys have to survive, or even bring them like up north or something. I mean, I know that our HQ is kind of a little bit threatened right now, but we got enough units down here that it should be okay-ish. The battlecopters are not going to be able to finish off the black boat. So if we hold off until hyper repair or hyper upgrade, this guy's fine. So we don't have to worry about him. Oh, again with the cap though, like we got to attack. We got to get that guy out of here. Like if we take this guy out, like we would be a lot better off. A lot better off. That's fair. I was thinking maybe this copter could come down here and strike this, but we have the anti-air right here, so that's not really the best move. But if the copter can't attack anything, right, we can go up and start attacking these guys. That is 100% possible. Now this anti-air is definitely not safe down here though. There's quite a bit of tank presence. So, I don't know. Maybe this is fine. I do like the attacks up here, so that's okay. Another anti-air. Perfect. That's what we need. I'm not liking the tank. Not liking the tank and range of the anti. Oh, God, it's so painful. Oh, no! And we lost the tank. See, we left that guy open. It was too bad. And this guy is going to go down like a sack of bricks, man. Ow. And then we start to cap. Yeah, painful stuff. Alright. Obliterating some infantry up there. And then in the middle, we just get wiped out here. Wiped out. So that's what I mean. Like, if we had at least taken out one more of those infantry, then we would have been in a little bit of a better spot. That's for sure. That is 100% for sure. But now we're kind of stuck here, right? So I think we need to be way more aggressive. I mean, the caps are not going to happen, so just don't even bother going for those. At this point, we just need to accept the deficit and just focus on attacking. That's it. Because now Andy's lost the main advantage that he would have over Kindle, and that would be unit advantage. I mean, income, you don't want to be fighting 3 tanks every single turn, but you know, you can do it. It's not like the worst thing. Alright, so I think this is a hyper upgrade turn, so I mean, is it possible to take this out with a tank? I don't think so. Maybe with hyper upgrade, but I don't know. So probably what I would do here, actually, we would definitely do 7 damage with a hyper upgrade tank on this. So that'll be okay, I suppose. Alright, let's see how this plays out. So we attack that, so that's cool. I think this guy's just out of range. Yeah, he's just out of range. So if we actually get a hyper upgrade, we can take that copter out. So that would actually end up being really big for Andy. Really big. And I probably wouldn't worry about attacking this tank with this tank. I'd probably go for the luck roll, if anything. But I would save that for later, because this will be an 8 HP tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be an 8 HP tank that could actually take a strike at this tank right here, which would be huge. Huge, right? These guys up here. So, okay, if we're going for hyper upgrade, I'm attacking up here first. I think that's what we got to do. Right, so because we're super close. I mean, after all our infantry engagements, I don't know. Maybe that's not the best play. We might have to do a couple tank engagements in order to get it. Because we do want these infantry to be healed up so we can wipe the floor with these guys up here. Alright, so interrupt the cap. That's okay because this guy will get healed up, right? So that's not too bad. Oh no, 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 why? No, that's not what we want to do. It's not what we want to do. We want to attack the tank. 100% we want to attack the tank. There's no reason to attack that infantry at the moment. The only thing you're really going to do is, like, you could bring the tank up to attack from the city. But, like, no. See, this is what I mean. If we didn't attack that other tank with this guy, we would have been able to attack here and attack here, taking this guy out with those 2 units, freeing this tank up to do, like, whatever. But, I don't know. Maybe it's a good play, maybe not. Either way, it's a play. It happened. No, attack the infantry. No, 100% attack the infantry. That's, no. Gotta attack that infantry. What we want to do. And actually, I probably wouldn't even attack that infantry yet. We still have some engagements that can happen up here, and we don't really have like a lot. 3K. If we're 3K, okay, if we're 3K away, I'd probably just move right over here and attack this tank. Attack this tank right here. Hyper upgrade afterwards. Because then that'll give us hyper upgrade, right? And then we have so many units. There's so many units. We'll have 3 infantry here that'll get healed up, so we can wipe out the front. We'll have a tank at full. I mean, we could bring the tank down and attack like over here, and this guy will be injured from this attack, and this guy will be full. Urban Blight, though. Alright, so we did that. Cool. Not bad. See, imagine if this guy was still, like, fresh. Would have been cool. We could have completely taken this tank out. Would have been nice. But we do get to take out the copter, so that's cool. Okay, let's take out the copter. And let's speed things along here. No. Oh, no. That's rough. Okay, no, we gotta attack. Like I said, we gotta be aggressive. That's the only way that we're gonna win this. Like, we gotta go down here, and we have to, like... We can first strike all these infantry, right? We can attack from here, attack from the road, but we have to, and then attack here. We can take all these infantry out. This infantry would be able to move, like, probably not right there, but he'd be able to move, like, I don't know, somewhere good, like right here. Be able to rush in right afterwards. This infantry would be able to finish off this infantry right here. Or at least come very close. Because this cap's not going to work because we can be interrupted. We just got Urban Blight next turn. So, yeah. Not the best play. Definitely need to be way more aggressive here. Yeah, easy Urban Blight. And actually, that was a pretty good play. Because one thing that you really do want to try to do is if you have attacks like that are like guaranteed like one-hit KOs, definitely do those before you pop your power, because all that's going to do is it's going to roll over, give you more power the next turn, a little bit closer to your next power. Because right there, that was like 4.5 K to the power charge bar right there. Yeah, that's an easy hit right there too. And see, imagine if the copter was here and we did that other play, right? And then that guy would be eliminated. Just taken out of the game. Yeah, and that's a rough thing too, right? Because we had so many units that were in place to attack this guy. It didn't work. Didn't work out. And then we got sacked by Urban Blight, so that was unfortunate. And now we lost our tank presence here, which is really unfortunate. And we're still going for caps. Still going for caps that are not going to work. Now the fight up north isn't looking too bad. Like, Andy's got like a really good presence up north now. We did manage to take out the vast majority of those guys. We have a little bit of a unit advantage, but it's not going to last for too long. Because it does look like Kindle has enough dudes in place to do some damage here. And that was unfortunately a little bit poor placement right there. Leads to a nice little double hit right there. And Kindle does push up, doing a little bit of damage over here. Got the anti-air in place to actually take out this guy if he decides to do anything. At this moment, though, this guy, probably the best option would be either to attack the tank or interrupt the cap up here. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not actually, because this anti-air is just in such an unfortunate place for our friend Andy. Alright, so we pop a hyper repair. Get a little bit of a heal. Do manage to actually bust through here, which is kind of nice. And we got a shot at the anti-air, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so we're busting out the mechs. Now, unfortunately, we just have no response to these tanks here. So these guys are just going to be able to rush down here. And we're going to be able to circle that HQ. We're going to be able to pop another Urban Blight. So that just means that those guys get completely wiped out. And that frontline tank gets wiped out too. So this was an okay play up here. But, I mean, with the amount of tank presence they have, it's not really working out too well. Unfortunately. We do got a nice artillery though. So I like the artillery on this side here. The artillery are a really good threat to the black boat. So that's to sort of initiate that HQ cap. Now, one thing that I do find about fighting Kindle is it's very difficult to fight Kindle with a tank on tank war. Now, unless you're actually like, you know, Kindlemere. Or maybe playing as like Rachel. You know, you can win the tank on tank war sometimes. It's kind of iffy, but you can sometimes win. But as Andy, I do like to have a few artillery in the mix, because it just makes it easier to get Kindle to stay away from a lot of those cities. Completely surrounding the HQ. So that's getting pretty rough. Getting pretty rough here. But the other HQ up here is under threat too, right? But the problem with fighting Kindle is it's incredibly difficult to cap properties because Urban Blight. So, you know, and what's the HQ? It's a property. So it's very difficult to grab that. And aim for resign right there. So we do get the classy medium tank build at the end. So 10 out of 10 for that one. I do very much appreciate that. But with the HQ open here, battlecopters, not enough presence. It's just gonna slowly go downhill for our friend Aim Free Mr. Andy. So it was a pretty good game. Very actually well played by Takumi here. I don't really have too much to say about Takumi's gameplay here. I think they played like fairly well. It's a few things like here and there, you know, that I sort of mentioned throughout the match that could be sort of trimmed up. But like overall, I think they played a pretty good game. Aim Free needed to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe a lot more aggressive. I think if we were actually a lot more aggressive there, might have changed the tides of battle. in their favor. Greatly. Because there was at least like maybe like 4 or 5 instances there where they could have actually did a bunch of damage, but they decided to go for those caps instead. Right? So like I said, Andy, you need unit advantage, and that's it. You need unit advantage, and even if your guys are injured, you know, just unit advantage. Hyper upgrade, bomb to the face. It's gonna be a good time. But hopefully you all enjoyed that. It was definitely a interesting match. If anybody does have any more replays that they would like featured on the channel, you can send me a message on Advanced Wars by Web or send me a message on the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description for my Discord down here as well. Send it to me. Maybe you'll be featured on the channel. Be a good time. But, you know, until next time, folks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye for now.